Have you ever been in a season in life where you feel like you're grinding so hard but nothing is yielding results? Your headspace is low, you're feeling isolated from your friends, you don't know what's up but you just don't feel completely right in your body? That is where I was. I was so depressed, down and out, and I was truly stuck in a rut, not knowing what my next steps was with no vision of my future. And then I took how I was feeling to counseling, and my therapist, amazing woman, helped me with a 5-step audit that helped me rejig my life, reevaluate where I was, where I wanted to be, and provided me with small but effective steps to move forward to become my best self and eventually, years later, start my business and truly live in purpose. So today I'm going to break down that 5-step audit for you. So if you are in a rut, you too can break free from that cycle and live the life that you want to live. Hi, my name is Nicole, ex-investment banker turned real estate bestie, and I'm here to give you the tips, the tricks on everything as it pertains to real estate. This time, we're talking about mindset. So as I was explaining to you guys, there was a season in my life where I was so depressed and down and out, and what I needed to do was get out of the rut, but I had no strength or ability to see where I was going, what I needed to do next, and because I had no vision, every day just rolled past, and I was just getting deeper and deeper into the hole. And I had this thing where I was just like an ostrich with my head in the sand. I didn't really want to address what was going on around me, but at the same time, I couldn't unpick what was going on in life because everything just felt like a massive blur. So as I mentioned before, when I went to therapy, my therapist gave me this amazing 5-step audit framework that really helped me see everything from a different lens so that I could break down my life into different categories and then label them with a score of 1 to 5. And when I was able to do that, I was able to start working on, in some seasons of my life, I've worked on the categories with the lowest numbers, but in other seasons of my life, I've worked on the categories first with the highest numbers, just because it was an easy win and that was the lowest hanging fruit, and it would release dopamine and endorphins much quicker when I was able to achieve that result. So what is that 5-step framework? How are you doing physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and relationally? So those are the 5 steps, and I'm going to go through each and every single category in more detail and ask you the questions, or you should ask yourself these questions to help you determine where you are in life and how you can break free from the cycle of depression or sadness or the rut that you're in now. So I've got a lot of these questions on my phone just because I don't have them all to head. But number 1, physically, how are you doing physically? And a good way that I like to think about that is, are you sleeping well? Are you eating well? Are you eating things that are going to improve your mental health, or eating things that make you feel really sluggish and tired all the time? Food is such a key proponent to our mood and how we feel about ourselves. Our body is a machine, so what we eat is that fuel that will allow our body to operate in a way that's super functional or super dysfunctional. So how are you doing physically? Are you moving about? Are you going on walks? Are you doing exercise? And I realized that in that season, whereas in a rut, I wasn't doing any exercise. I was eating like a crazy person, and naturally I was putting on weight. So this all affected me physically because I was putting on weight and I wasn't eating right. I didn't want to exercise because my exercise wasn't as great. And then it was just a negative, self-fulfilling cycle downwards to the depths of hell, and that's where we don't want to be. So the first category you need to think about is physically, and what I did is I rated it from number 1 to number 5. 1 being I need help and I'm not doing so great, and 5 being yep, I'm good, I've got it, I'm great, I don't need to work on this too much more because I'm feeling quite confident in this area. So number 1 is physically. And for me, what I did at the time in any season of my life where I found that physically I'm not doing great, I just start with small things. It might be eating better, starting to go on a walk with a friend. So even though like you're doing the exercise, because you're walking with your friend, it doesn't feel as bad. And I just start to incorporate little dynamic changes that will yield bigger results that are compounded over time. So number 1 is physically. How are you doing physically? Number 2 is spiritually. And I feel like in the last few years, by the grace of God, that's been the area that is quite good. Not to say that I don't fall short or sometimes I don't go a day without praying or in my word, but by by and large, I feel quite aware of the Lord and his presence around me, and understanding that he's always with me and trusting him. But it's really important. How am I doing spiritually? Do I pray? Have I been praying? Have I been in my word? Have I been engaging with like-minded people? How is my time in worship? Have I been worshiping? How's my language? Am I speaking quite negatively? Am I swearing a lot? All of these things are going to affect how you're relating with God. If you're not spending time in that secret place or even communicating with him, like any relationship, you're going to feel distant. So again, in this area of your life, from levels 1 to 5, how good am I doing spiritually? Do I trust the Lord right now? Am I feeling distant from him? And if you are feeling distant from him, that's not a problem. We listen and we don't judge, because we've all been there at times. But it just takes that extra work to spend some more time in the secret place, more time speaking to him and seeking his face, because the Bible says if we seek him, reveal himself to us. So it's just for us to just keep on pressing, keep on knocking, he will open us. So please, I do implore you, if your spiritual walk isn't so great, just go right back to the Father. He loves you, just like with the prodigal son. Even though the prodigal son decided to go away, when the father of the prodigal son saw his son coming from a mile off, he opened up his arms and was so happy and dressed him in the royal robes and gave him the rings and said, put on a banquet and a feast. No matter how long you've gone from being with the Lord, will always welcome you right back. So please don't be shy about that. How you are doing spiritually will affect a lot of aspects of your life. So please, I implore you, go back to God and trust him in everything. Number 3 is, how am I feeling emotionally? This is really important. Life moves at 100 miles an hour. We deal with so much on any given day that sometimes we don't actually get to sit down and process how we feel, because we just don't have time to, or sometimes we don't have the knowledge on how to unpack how we feel. But it's really important that you take stock, you sit down and listen to myself. How did I feel about this situation earlier today? How did I feel that I didn't get to speak to this person and I said that I wanted to? How did I feel that this person spoke to me and they were rude to me? You need to understand how you are feeling emotionally. It could be even bigger than what you're dealing with day to day. It could be like, wow, I'm feeling really hurt about this thing that happened 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Because what we fail to understand sometimes is that what happened to us many years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even from our childhood, manifests itself and it affects us in our day to day. And it really shapes the woman or the man that we are today. So it's really important that you're really taking stock with how you feel emotionally, which is why I'm really big on therapy, because therapy provides you that outlet to speak for an hour continuously about how you feel, and also be able to sit in those emotions. Even if something feels uncomfortable, because you're forced in that session to sit with that emotion, it makes you address it. Or even if you don't address it because you are still running away from those feelings, at least you know it's there and you know what feeling that is, and you can identify that there is a feeling, even if you can't necessarily put your finger on what that feeling is. But it's really important to understand how you feel emotionally. 1 being, I don't know, or I feel really bad, and 5 being like, no, I feel really good, I feel really confident, my emotions are in check, I'm really happy with my headspace and everything like that. So considering how you feel emotionally is another part of this 5-step audit. I know for me, when it comes to my emotions, I wasn't considering any grief or sadness or betrayal that I was feeling at the time. And it really manifested myself in friendships and other relationships that I had, because I was dealing with all that pain because I hadn't dealt with my emotions. So it's really important that we get a hold of how we feel, and it's okay to not be okay. I was telling myself today, I'm not okay. I feel a bit overwhelmed with work and business right now, but that doesn't define me. I don't need to sit there. But the fact that I can address it allows me the space to seek the necessary help, or maybe go for a walk, or maybe reach out to my friends to take my mind off things. Because I've been able to address the emotion, I'm able to move through the emotion as opposed to let the emotion overwhelm me. So that's number 3 of the 5-step audit. How are you feeling financially? This is a really big one. So many suicides and deaths are caused by stress associated with finances or lack thereof. And having a good financial standing or good financial backbone does really breed confidence. It really breeds confidence in anyone. And I'm not saying that you need to have low. It could be the idea of having an emergency fund. So God forbid, if anything happened to you and you lost your job or business stopped for a bit, you could cover yourself and your expenses for at least 3 to 6 months. That will allow you to feel more confident. And maybe if you're thinking about investing for your future, sometimes we can get a bit overwhelmed about our finances in the future because we just don't know how we're going to be able to manage the big ticket items that are coming further down the line. However, if you take accountability of your finances. And it's not to say that you need to have loads in the bank, because you really don't. Everyone starts from a different level, and we're not taught about all of these financial literacy items at school. So don't feel bad if you don't know how to invest or how to make your money work for you. But what I would advise is that you go onto YouTube and learn, go to seminars, read books, and just build your knowledge in that area, because it will really equip you to make more financially sound decisions and make sure that you've got more money at the end of the month than more money than month. So being in a good financial position will really help you moving forward and just feeling more confident in life, and knowing that anything that comes up, you're not going to be taken out and your life savings are completely wiped out. Finally, how are you doing relationally? This is super important, because I noticed that when I was in the rut, because of the kind of personality that I have, I don't want my friends or people to feel sorry for me, or I don't want to be the burden in the group, which is crazy, because if my friends were going through sadness or a bad time, I'd really want to be there for them. But I sometimes struggle with asking for help or wanting other people to be there for me, because I don't want to be the sad friend, which is crazy. But sometimes I noticed that when I was in a rut, I would be isolating myself. I wouldn't be checking in on my friends, or I wouldn't accept friends checking in on me. I would not really be replying to messages, because I'm like, I just need to get through and feel better so I can show up as my best self. But in those seasons, the enemy will come in and annihilate your thought process and your thought patterns, and really annihilate your self-worth. So it's really important that you get in community, get around people who encourage you, who lift you up, who speak life into you, because in those short conversations with your friends or that walk that you've had, the endorphins flow and you just feel so much better. And in that time, even though in that moment you're like, I really can't be bothered to go, I don't want to go to that dinner, I don't want to go to that coffee, I don't want to meet up with this friend, you're always happier once you've done it, because it's really fed a need that you really needed at the time. When it comes to relationally, how are you doing with your family? How are you doing with your friends? How are you doing with maybe your partner? If you take stock in how you are doing and how you're showing up, it will really let you know on a scale of 1 to 5, how can you improve, and if it is an area that you need to improve. Guys, these are the 5 areas for the audit. And as I mentioned before, for me, I like to work from where I'm really slacking. So I will take where I am really struggling the most and try to put in little steps that I can implement into my life, and they'll legit be quick wins. So if it's physically, I'm feeling a 1 out of 5, I'm feeling really terrible, what I'll do is I will decide, very least, I'm going for a 30-minute walk. It doesn't matter the pace, it doesn't matter the speed, it doesn't matter the time of day, just 30 minutes every day. Like, that's the new goal. Wake up and find 30 minutes, go outside and walk, or walk on your treadmill, or walk on your walking pad, figure it out. And I think when you're able to do that, even though it can be so hard to build the momentum or to start a new habit, once you've hit 3 weeks, the habit has been built and you're really proud of yourself for what you've achieved, and it's positive reinforcement for yourself that you're actually doing okay. And slowly but surely you are climbing out of that rut. So I hope this has been helpful, and this is the 5-step audit that my counselor blessed me with that has really changed my life. So when I'm stuck and not sure of what I'm doing, I just lock in with this audit and make the necessary adjustments to make sure that I'm actually not stuck feeling sorry for myself, but just keep on pushing, because you are destined for greatness. I really want to encourage you. You're destined for greatness. The enemy is trying to slow you down, but in all things, God is with you, and you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You don't have to do it by yourself. And when you are weak, the Lord will be strong, and he'll be with you and cover you and protect you and go ahead of you and make your path straight. So just trust in him, seek his face, and he will make all things well for you. Remember, his plans for you are for good and not of evil. And plans is plural, not singular. So he's got many plans. So even if you fall off, fall down, you're not happy, God has many plans for you and your life, which are amazing. So have faith, and next time I will see you guys later. Bye.